I used to put these documents in the chat box themselves, but again, I gave you the presentation, the embedded links are there for you. So all you really need to do is save this presentation and you have access to all these other documents, right? You might want to click on the helpful handouts and just bookmark that as well. And then you can go straight to it, Okay. Forward. Blank and blocked. Now what have I done? Gosh, they're going to be one of those days, you guys. Why me? You sooner than I thought. Huh. Saying blank and blocked. Why? Boy, it's really testing me today about being calm. Concentrating on compliance, right? Okay. Weird. All right. So like I had mentioned, we big focus on, in the way we support you, a foundation, a cornerstone really of what we do to support you in an eXp's business and our practices in the industry, and especially the state of California, is on compliance. Okay. This is a professional services industry. We have licenses, right, to conduct the business that we do. There are rules, there are regulations, there are ethics involved, right? So we strive to really stay on top of that and help you develop a cornerstone of compliance for your business as well. There's a lot of agents out there kind of running amok. It's not hard to get a license, although it carries a lot of responsibility. So we really preach that. And we work with you to make sure that you have that, not only that foundation, but that or just that's part of, who you are as a real estate agent to your client as well. They want to know that you do the right thing, and while getting the job done, right? So the clickable link in that bottom corner is called the important basics and who to send things to. That's a great document. Also, I'm looking to my right on my little pin board over here. I have it, pinned up to my board up here. It's got our corporate addresses, our addresses that you would use to have checks sent to. It has our phone number, our DRE number, our tax ID number, our NRDS, all things that you need to know when you're filling out forms, joining the board, doing anything with the DRE, doing referral fee agreements. There's all kinds of information on that important basics that you're going to refer to on a regular basis. So, dare I say, print that out if you don't, or put it somewhere, post it prominently on your, wherever your electrical billboard, if you have one on your, your desktop. Sometimes that's a desktop. For reference later. Okay. Any questions on this so far? Any questions so far, you guys, now that I've kind of composed myself and gotten our presentation back on track? Raise hand or unmute. Going good? All right. Please take time to read. If you haven't read in detail, some of you are, I'm sure, read it word for word when you joined eXp, signed an independent contractor agreement. That's the terms of our relationship, right? That's the terms of you being independent contractor, a licensed salesperson working under eXp and Debbie Penny's license with the DRE. There's important things to know within that document, like what kind of business can you do as a real estate agent with eXp? What are your limitations? How do you get paid? There's everything about getting paid is in your ICA. Is there a difference with personal transactions? What happens when I cap? All of those types of questions are in your ICA. The other two items that you want to have handy, and you may not read these word for word, but some of you will, is the eXp Realty Policy and Procedures Manual, as well as the California State Specific Policy and Procedure Manual. If you don't read them word for word, at least read the summary or table of contents of each of those so that you kind of get an idea of what kinds of things are in those documents, so that when you have a question, you'll remember, okay, oh, I can go to my policies and procedures manual. Many, many, many times when you guys come into the broker room and have questions for us, we're quoting directly from one of these three documents, or we're providing it to you, or I'm providing you a snippet from it to explain, how a referral fee agreement needs to be done. So that was a question from Victoria. Who can I talk to about referral fee rules? In a couple slides ago, where it said helpful handouts, go in there. There is a document specifically it's called referral fee agreement procedures. So that's right there. Okay. Important basics and who to send to. The PDF on important basics, it's not available and says it's in the trash. Oh, fab. Oh, you know why? Because I reverted to an earlier presentation, which is not dated. Guys, boy, I got up early this morning to prepare for this. I was all ready to go, and wouldn't you know, not going exactly that way, but that's okay. It happens sometimes. Hold on, I'm getting it. And done. All right, I'm going to put it in the chat box, and then I'll also update the presentation. Important basics and where you can find things. I just put the link in the chat box. This. So the presentation also should be updated. And again, when I gave you the link to this presentation slide deck earlier, it's on a Google Drive shared. So when I just updated the link for important basics, it should have updated in like live, real time in the presentation that you have. So somebody let me know if that didn't happen. Okay, so read these documents. Hopefully all three of these links work. Buddy? Good. Good. Those three are good. Yay. None. All right. eXp Cloud is where you will find eXp University. So this isn't just a California thing. This is eXp nationwide, 50 classes every week. Dare I say more than that, probably. It seems like 50 classes a day. So take a look at the calendar, the event calendar, or sorry, classes calendar, and take advantage of any and all of the trainings and university classes that are offered to you through eXp. And it's everything from launching your business, setting up your business, lead generation, trainings on how to use KV Core, which is our the CRM that you get with your tech fee, how to use SkySlope, which is our file management system, all kinds of things in eXp University. And the the icon in the blue where it says eXp University 50 classes a week, I believe if you click that, that takes you right to the calendar of classes. I tried to do this morning, so I don't know which version I've gotten now, but it's eXp Cloud. You'll go there too. Enterprise.com is your one-stop to access all of your eXp tech platform. So everything that you're getting for your 80 $9 or $85 a month is located here. So KV Core, SkySlope, access to Workplace, your personal agent account and profile. So you'll want to, if you haven't done that yet, check it out, make sure that everything's correct in there. And also, there's a checkbox in your profile that allows you to publish your profile to the experts directory. We call it the experts directory, and essentially that's the eXp agent directory. That's what is on our exprealty.com website, like if a consumer is looking for an agent. But if you don't go into your profile and actively check that checkbox, you will not show up in the experts directory. Make sure and take some time to do that. Also in Enterprises, all access to all your marketing materials, much more, right? So that's another good site to bookmark. SkySlope is our transaction management system. And when I say our, it is a third-party program. So if you're coming from another brokerage, you may have had some experience with SkySlope. There's a lot of brokerages that use SkySlope, but we have our own, obviously, account and with SkySlope, and so everything is customized and perfected just for our eXp agents. When you joined, you should have gotten your login credentials for your SkySlope. Now, if you don't have a transaction, you're probably not, going to need to use this right away, but then when you get a transaction, you're going to need to know how to use it. So if you have some time and you're able to kind of just get a basic understanding of how it works, that would be great, because before you know it, you're going to have a transaction and you're going to need to know how to upload your file, your transaction file to SkySlope. SkySlope, guys, I look at it like, again, you can tell I've been around for a while and pre all this technology, back when we did paper files. I call this our file cabinet in the sky, but it's so much more than that. It's a very sophisticated little file cabinet, but we used to actually have these giant file cabinets, down the hall in our brokerages, and you would create a listing actual file or purchase file, and all these documents would be put in the file in a specific order, right? And it would be an 1.5 inches thick file, or 2 inches thick by the time you were done with your transaction, and we'd file all those, right? That's skyslope.com. So when you make a contract, okay, so you're out there as agents working on behalf of the broker, right? So when you make a contract, a purchase contract or a listing contract, you're doing it on behalf of eXp. You're an independent contractor. You're an agent of, right? So when you make a contract between the client and eXp, that's our file, and that's a contract that we have with those folks. We need to be able to have access to that because it is our contract. So it's really important that, agents get very, it's your business and it's your client and you're this and you're that, and that's true. But from a compliance standpoint, you're making contracts for eXp, right? Between the client and eXp, with you being the agent. And we've got to be able to see all of those contracts that we have out there in the world with our clients. So it's very important that when you make a ratified contract, that you upload it to SkySlope. This is the only way we have ability, honestly, to all of our contracts with everyone out there, and access. So please do not wait until the day of closing to upload your SkySlope file and all your documents. That is not compliant. It also creates lots of problems and stress, and all kinds of things can go wrong. So I know you guys are going to do great. Within 24 hours, I think it's 24, maybe 48, but but it says on the slide within 2 days. Let's say 24. But 2 days, within 2 days of making a contract, you've got to open your SkySlope file, upload all of your documents, and make sure that they're all in there so that we can then review them. So our contract reviewers then come into play. They review your SkySlope file at least 2 or 3 times throughout the transaction, and sometimes more if it's a complicated transaction, or if there's things that have to be shifted out, or if you request it. They'll do an initial review of your file, probably within 3 days of it being uploaded, so that they can check it off and see, your initial documents, make sure everything's good. And then a little bit closer to close, I think about a week to 10 days before close, and then just a few days before close to make sure everything's in there so that you can get paid. Okay. These live links work. Yeah, there it is. So these are good. It did revert to the right one. So where it says SkySlope training, that is a live link to a SkySlope training slide deck, which is really good. That was created by one of our ASCs, Brandy. If you need tech support with your SkySlope file, you actually go through the company SkySlope. So in skyslope.com, there is a support or chat button with the support folks, and they're really great. They have fantastic customer support, so you can definitely lean on them for anything techie that's going on with your SkySlope account. Our checklists, our SkySlope checklists, are found on the Google Drive. That's a live link right there. Checklists are required documents basically for each type of transaction. So if you have a regular purchase contract transaction, there's going to be certain required documents that need to be in your file. If you have a listing contract file, there's specific documents for that. If you're working with a land listing, there's going to be different required documents in that file than is required with a regular house listing, right? So all of those different checklists can be found at that live link. Please don't upload any documents that are still missing signatures, that are missing the company name, address, DRE numbers. It will be rejected. So only upload the final, complete, and ratified version, if you will, of your documents. Days. And then if you have rejected transactions, so you're a buyer's agent and you're making offers for your buyer, and unfortunately right now a lot of our buyers offers are getting rejected before they get the one that's accepted, right? So we still want to have those rejected offers on file. So you would send those to ca.rejectedoffers@exprealty.net. So that's only if you're a buyer's agent and you have rejected files. That's the only time you'll need to mail them to that email. When you are a list agent and say you get 10 offers on the property, your seller picks one, right? And so then you have 9 rejected offers on that listing. You're just going to upload those. There's going to be a place in the checklist, in your listing checklist, for rejected offers on a listing. Okay, so that's where you'd put those. Questions on this slide? Great. I know it's a lot. Can you email us? Elizabeth, what did you want me to email you?
You already sent it in the chat box.
Okay, that was the important basics when that was lost.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nope, we found it. That was determined. Okay, here's just some other resources. I need to update this slide a little bit, but if you have, I can't even. If you have questions on anything regarding your, stock, you can go to stock@exprealty.com, or accounting. Accounting deals with stock, revenue share, or any of your billing questions. So your monthly fees, things like that. Agent experience it's a great kind of first go-to place that you can, learn more about everything that I'm talking about, really. So you have concierge folks, people that work in agent experience that know kind of all things eXp. So general eXp question, they're very helpful as well. In our California broker room outside this auditorium, the main spot that you popped into when you clicked on the state of California, on the right hand side there are doors that lead to other places within World. One of them is agent experience. So if you're in the broker room, you can pop right into that door into agent experience and talk to them there. There's a door for accounting. So again, some of the main and tech support, I think, is the 3 doors that go to other places in the world. Here's your email for the tech outpost as well. Also agent attraction. So another really awesome part of being an eXp agent, and one of the 3 or 4 different revenue streams that we can take advantage of, is rev share or agent attraction, right? So if you sponsor in other agents into eXp and they name you as their sponsor, you participate in the revenue sharing program. So attraction services, if you want to really beef up that stream of business for yourself and learn how to recruit essentially other agents to eXp, attraction services has all things agent attraction. So they have the do's and don'ts and kind of the etiquette regarding that. They have marketing materials that are specific to marketing for agent attraction. So I would check that out as another for yourself if you're interested in that. Okay, almost through, you guys. I'm sorry we got kind of hung up with the loss of the slides for a little bit. All right. Like I mentioned, when you join eXp, one of the first things you're going to do is either, if you're a new agent, you're going to join your local association or board of realtors, or if you're an existing agent with a different broker, you're going to switch brokers with probably the same local area board of realtors or association that you've been already with. So you want to make sure and get that switch done as soon as you've joined and fully onboarded to eXp. That link in the slide is a list of all the local associations and board of realtors that eXp and Debbie Penny is a full member of within the entire state of California. So a lot of times we get agents that say, well, what one should I join? Really, it just depends on where you're going to do business. Usually it's kind of where you live or where you do business, right? So you need to look it up, and some areas have multiple local areas, local associations of realtors, larger areas like Los Angeles, even San Diego has, 2 or 3 different associations of realtors. So you just want to compare each one in terms of what kind of geographic areas do they cover, what benefits do they offer, what are their fees, that kind of thing, and join the best one for you. When you are a full member, that includes not only your local board of realtors, but the California Association of Realtors, or CAR, and the National Association of Realtors, or NAR. You need full membership to all 3 of these associations, and you do that through your local association. They sign you up for all 3, and your dues pay for all 3. If you also need MLS access, which most of you will, 99.9% of you are going to want to join your local MLS. You will also join or subscribe. It's kind of look at it like a subscription, if you will, to the MLS through your local board of realtors, whichever local board you're joining. Okay. Any questions on that? About some marketing do's and don'ts. Okay, we had a question. I've submitted my association app, but still sign up for MLS. I budgeted for this as a newbie. I budgeted for this within the next week. Fantastic. Yes. I mean, there's expenses, with regards to joining all this stuff and getting started in business. And honestly, the basic, our basic expenses as being a realtor is our MLS and our realtor dues, and they can, they're due and payable usually at the beginning of the year. When every year you get that bill, and they can be $1,000 or more, right? But you've got to plan for that, because that's your basic tools for being in business, right? You've got to be a local member of the board. You've got to have MLS access, and you've got to also account for your $85 a month with eXp to have all of your tech tools and access to world. So budget for that, guys. This is the cost of doing business, right? I'm at a handicap not having, am I at a handicap by not having done this ASAP? Well, I don't know. He says you're going to do it in the next week. That's fine. I mean, when you have a budget, you have a budget, but your MLS is really your main tool to be able to show homes, list homes, all that stuff. So it is kind of, if you plan to show homes and list homes, you kind of need it. Does everyone see the same CR MLS? The one I'm seeing is kind of hard to figure out. So there are different MLSs throughout the state of California, and then each local board of realtors or association, they partner with very different MLSs. So the MLS that you join most likely is going to be, well, initially at least, is going to be a factor of which local association you're with. So when you're looking for a local association, ask them, what MLS do you guys use? BR MLS is the biggest MLS within California. It's the California Regional MLS. However, there are several other very area specific MLSs. There's Metro List, there's Metro Link, I think. There's I can't remember the other ones. There's several, and all of them have some sort of capacity of data sharing, what I call data sharing between the MLSs. But you really need to get an understanding and get your arms around, the MLS that you use for your area. If you border up to another different, like kind of geographic area that uses a different MLS, that's going to be a factor for you. Because if you have clients kind of looking in both areas, you need, or not might, you need to make sure you have access to homes that are listed in either or area, right? So you just need to make sure your MLS either covers all the areas that you're working with, or data shares. And if not, there's a few areas left in California where you might need to actually join multiple MLSs. Okay. I think it's becoming fewer and farther between. We're really, I mean, back in the day, we all had like very unique MLSs San Diego had, 2 or 3 of its own MLSs, and I think other areas were like that too. And slowly we're moving to more of a, California-wide, or at least multi-regional. The CRMLS is kind of moving towards, being able to view listings everywhere. That's kind of the goal, because we're licensed in the state of California, and that means business anywhere in California. So, there are multiple reasons and issues with regards to not having, that visibility with listings in certain MLSs. So I think that, cross that bridge when you get to it. Very few of you will have those issues anymore, I think. If you're in a big area like LA, San Diego, Bay Area, they're pretty good at the data sharing. So just get to know that, through your local association. It is your responsibility to make sure your association dues and MLS dues are paid, right? So we get notices, and this is part of the compliance issue. So Debbie Penny, eXp, member of all hundreds of all these local associations, right, all over the state. If one of the agents does not pay their dues, it could potentially cause board to sever not only you, but the broker from the local board. And then if we're not part of the local board, we get severed with the DRE. So it's a very serious thing, because you can imagine that would bring down, 7,800 agents throughout the state. We don't take that lightly. So we are monitoring you guys. So if we send you a reminder that your dues are due or something like that, it's not because we're trying to be big brother or watchdogs or being mean. We are, just reminding you. We want to make sure that you're aware of it. Sometimes people need to step back if there's things going on financially. You need to, we just want to communicate with you and see what's going on so that we can take the appropriate action so that nothing catastrophic happens, like a local board severing us, right? And severing all the agents under it. So make sure to stay on top of your dues and the bills and when those are due. Okay. Roughly what day does it come out so I can watch for it? I do not, it depends on the board. That's all local, Elizabeth. So make sure you talk to them and get it on your calendar. It's usually quarterly. Okay, some marketing and advertising do's and don'ts. There's a live link to what we call the 559 rules. Sorry, I'm going over, you guys. I see it's 10:10. I'm going to try and kind of rush through this a little bit. I'm so sorry. Those are the DRE rules for advertising. So make sure that you review those. This next link is eXp's brand guidelines. So whenever you're using the eXp logo, you want to make sure that you are following the brand guidelines. A couple of key things is our DRE number is required on everything we do. Every advertising and marketing thing we do, we need to have our DRE number on there, and it needs to be prominent. So it cannot be this little teeny tiny font in the left-hand corner that's smaller than everything else on the marketing piece. It needs to be at least as small as the next smallest font on your marketing piece. Okay, that is the rule. Your last name must be used and must match what your last name is on your license. So if you have a hyphenated last name and that's how you got licensed, got to use that hyphenated last name. If you want to change that, you have to go through the DRE first, name, and then you may use it however you're licensed, right? So that has to be the same. Our eXp logo has to be, if you use it, you don't have to use it, but if you do, it has to be at least as large as any other personal branding or personal logo that you use. And then if you use an address on any of your marketing materials, you don't have to have an address on there, but if you do, and you're not a branch office with us, it has to be our San Ramon corporate address. Remember, I was saying that we, as California, we are like one office in California, and our one office address is our corporate address in San Ramon. That address and all that information about addresses was on that important basics at a glance document. Okay. Okay. Any questions on advertising do's and don'ts? To have to say Cal DRE or just DRE? It can just, they actually say it can just be a number. But I think practice is DRE, number sign, and then your license. And we are the DRE now. We went through a small period where we were the BRE and now it's back to DRE. But they accept either one. But you guys just use DRE. Yeah, BRE. It used to be the so some politician thought it would be a great idea to change the Department of Real Estate to the Bureau of Real Estate, and they did that for a few years. I don't know, it was in the maybe 2010, 2012, somewhere around there. And they did that for 3 years, and then we had to change everything over to BRE, and then they changed it back to DRE. Wasn't that nice? So now that, because they got so much slack for that, if it says BRE, if it, as long as it says a number and your 8-digit license number and your last name is on there, just like it is with your license, that's compliant. Yes, they do need to be approved by somebody. And thank you for that segue, Tiffany. The next slide. All marketing materials must be approved by the broker team and our eXp marketing department. So you need to email proofs of everything: business cards, signage, social media. When I say social media, I mean like ads, like advertisements, posts. Just make sure your name and DRE number is on all of those, and then websites and anything. So brochures, presentations that you're going to use on a regular basis. If you have a template that you want to use, you might want to run that by us as well. So you would email it to both departments, and we will each individually get back to you with an approval. What if you're posting a picture of a flyer? If the flyer has the DRE number and everything on it, that's fine. But as a matter of good practice, I would just, like, if you posting a flyer and then you're going to comment on the picture of the flyer, right? In your social media, you might say, check out this great new listing. I'm doing an open house at this Saturday, 10 to blah, blah, blah. I always do, just do a return, on your keyboard and just put your name, comma, DRE number, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I might as well put it more than less and be over compliant, right? So just, you really want to make sure. And the DRE has people, jobs out there. They're getting paid to go look for violations of this. So just make sure that you get the DRE on everything. If someone mails me something to that San Ramon address, will they forward it to me? So you kind of want to not do that. That mail, it could take a long time. Let's just put it that way, to get to you. So you can, you give out your home address. You just can't have it on a printed marketing material. Okay. So you can give somebody your home address to mail you something, like you're ordering something or something like that, but you can't have that as your office address. That's the difference. Around time for approval, very quickly. Again, those emails get monitored all day long, and usually same day approval usually. Okay. All right. Oh, real quick, the disclaimer. Make sure that you're using that disclaimer on printed like postcards to your farm and stuff, or anything that's going to a client for the first time. If your property is currently listed, please disregard. It's not our intention to solicit the listings of other brokers. Sometimes you don't know if a client already has a contract with some other broker, right? Because maybe it's listed, but it's just not on the MLS. We always need to have that disclaimer, because we cannot be soliciting business from clients that are already in contract with another broker. Okay, so that sort of gets us out of that. All right, our approved brand guidelines and logos can be found at these, all 3 of these places, right? So there's like always, several places to find the same thing. But I like that join.exp.realty.com/brand, because that's all of our brand guidelines, and you can easily download the eXp logos there. And in this slide, you'll see the eXp logo that I have up on the screen is actually non-compliant, because we just recently became a registered trademark. So before we were patent or trademark pending, right? So we had the little TM, see the little baby TM up in the corner? That is now a circle R. So that's how you can tell if our logo is compliant, right? So I need to update this slide with the circle R. It's not compliant. Okay, real quick about the mentor program. How many of you, and I'm so sorry we're going late here, how many of you are, raise your hands, are brand new licensees? Brand new to the business? 5, 6, 7, or 8 of you or so. So if you are a brand new licensee, or you've been out of the business for some time, okay, and you haven't closed at least 3 transactions in the last 12 to 18 months, pair you with a mentor. And the reason is, well, new agents, obviously, you should be very happy about this. Agents that have some experience that come in and just haven't closed any in the last few months, they're usually not as excited that we want to pair them with a mentor. But it's really important that you receive that assistance and help to walk you through every step of your first 3 transactions, because things have changed. You know, the market has changed. If you've been out of the market for a long time or haven't car forms for a long time, there's going to be a lot of new stuff for you. And we want to make sure that you have a mentor helping you through those first 3 transactions to make sure you're compliant, that you're doing everything, you know, right, that you're serving your client in the best capacity you can. Okay. So their duties include, you know, helping you write an offer, write up a listing, getting you through each step of that transaction, as well as helping you, you know, prospect and, you know, do some business building. So a lot of the mentors have weekly meetings, various things, but the mentor agreement outlines the duties of both the mentor and the mentee when you first sign up for the program. When you sign up with eXp and you are brand new to the business, within 2 to 3 weeks, I think they should be pairing you with a mentor. Or do I need to complete the mentor class first? You need to complete the mentor class first, sign your mentor agreement, and after that time, you and the mentor will be in contact. Okay. DBAs and fictitious business names. Some of us come into this business and we just do business as our name, you know, Kim Babcock Realtor. Others may develop ourselves or want to develop ourselves into a brand, essentially. If we're not just branding our name, us under our name, sometimes we want to be, you know, Seaside Realty Group or Babcock Realty, or well, not with a surname, but other things that sound like a business that aren't a team name. So team names have the surname of the team leader in it, in the name. So Babcock Realty Group, Babcock and Associates, that kind of stuff. If you are not using your surname and you want to do something like my DBA is Next Level Properties, right? And Next Level Coaching. So I have those filed with Contra Costa County, which is where our corporate address is, and then approved through eXp and listed under eXp with the DRE. There's a process for this, right? And you cannot use your DBA until it's been registered and approved with the county eXp and with the DRE. So that little live link in the corner is DBA, or fictitious business name, compliance and procedures on how to create one and operate under one. Okay, so if you're interested in that, take a look at that. Branch offices, some agents and teams develop to the point where they actually do want to have a brick and mortar location, in which case you can use that address if it's registered, approved and registered through eXp as a branch office. So there's certain procedures and requirements that we have for you and your team to listed as a branch office. If you're interested in that, take a look at the branch office procedures, the live link there, and definitely, you know, feel free to come into the broker room and talk to us a little bit about it. We have one of our brokers, Gina Saad, and one of our ASCs, Samantha Cabral, specifically work as a team to help agents become branch offices. So it is a bit of a process. It takes a couple of months. So if you're thinking about doing that and you want to find out all the requirements, you can see that right there. Okay, last but not least, I want to just let you know that we use, when we're kind of doing a survey for satisfaction of our agents. We use something called Net Promoter Score, or NPS, and a lot of big companies use this rating system to for feedback, to know how we're doing and what we could do better, what we're doing right and what we could do better, right? And it consists really of just one question. You just rate us 1 to 10 on is how willing would you be to refer eXp to somebody else? I think that's the question. And so when you get these, and you'll get these periodically, I think you get one upon joining, you'll get one whenever you work with tech services, you'll get one quarterly, just to find out how we're doing as a staff supporting you as an agent. And guys, we take this score very, very seriously. It's in our core goals to have this be a high score all the time. And so we're always striving for not only a high score in the responses, but the response rate. We want a high response rate as well, right? So we're always striving for the 9s and 10s. But by the same token, it's a great way for you guys to let us know what we're doing right. Because after you rate us, it gives you a chance to comment. So if you've had a great experience with someone or something, let us know. We love to hear about those situations. By the same token, if there was some place we fell short and you need to let us know, we look at those and we take immediate action on those suggestions. So this isn't just something we have to do or that we don't look at. We absolutely look at this on a weekly basis, and we are constantly pivoting and making changes and updating and upgrading and doing things that we hear back from you guys that you need. So when you see an email that asks for it takes literally 15 seconds to do. If you're just going to rate us and if you're going to make some comments, I mean, less than a minute. Really appreciate it when you get these to fill them out. Okay, thanks. Welcome to eXp Realty. Sorry, this went way over what I usually do. But does anybody have any final questions? I know that was a lot, and hopefully I will. Let's see. I'm going to put the presentation one more time in the chat box for anyone that still needed to grab that. There it is. There they are, Rebecca. The link that I put in just before you asked that question is the slide deck. Then that slide deck, again, are all those live links to all the resources. Okay. Welcome, you guys. We're so glad to have you here. Please plug in, come to the meetings, come to the broker room, send us emails at ca.broker. We're so happy to have you. We are thrilled that you joined eXp, and we're excited for you to do really good business here with us. So again, welcome, and I'll see you around. And for those of you that are brand new to the business, brand new licensed, I have Ascend at 11 o'clock in this very same room. So if you want to stick around, I'm doing a module on, we're starting on a module that's called Working with Sellers, right? So prospecting for listing leads. So join me for that at 11 today. Otherwise, thanks again, and have a great week, or make it a great week, right? Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Newbies at 11. So welcome, Sam. Thanks. Bye, James. Thank you.